Hello and welcome. This is Derfish Rejects doing a quick patch 9.8 notes rundown. This came out at the weirdest possible time ever at like 2 in the morning. But I'm really excited to get to do it this early into it. I have no idea what's on here. So I'm really excited. The past 2 patches have been fantastic. And I've really enjoyed them for their changes. So let's see what we've got in store for us. So first, Amumu. Passive damage increased, Q cooldown decreased. Amumu now follows enemies hit by Q if they move while he's mid-flight. So this is really cool. This is a problem that I have playing Amumu, which is that flashing, obviously you can't flash if you get hit by the Amumu Q, but if you have an Alistair or something that got displaced, it would be really nice if Amumu followed them. So that's awesome. The curse bonus is nice in some team comps. It's not going to make him competitively viable, but it's going to make him much better as a duo partner with a mid laner. And then his Q, let's see. I don't think he maxes Q, and if he does, if he maxes Q, then this doesn't matter all that much. But because he's mostly doing it once. But if he doesn't max Q, then this is kind of nice because in some longer fights, or maybe like around a dragon pit, he's going to be able to bandage toss multiple times in a fight, in some fights early that he wouldn't be able to otherwise. These are fine. This is going to be really nice in solo queue, I think, for Amumu. You're probably not going to see him in an LCS, LCK type environment, though. Camille. Okay, so it's not. I don't think that's enough to make her competitively viable, like stupid in jungle again. But obviously, Camille is still a fantastic jungler with stupid level 2 gank power. So if this is just enough to make her jungling decent again, then you're probably going to see the resurgence of Camille. But I don't know if this is enough to make her a super ultra high priority pick in most elos. So she's still going to do Camille things, split push, and have stupid early ganks. E cost decreased, so cast buffs. This is fine. I want Cassio to be good in mid. From what I've been seeing, she's not all that good right now anywhere because they nerfed her too hard going after her Q-Max poke build. So seeing this is kind of nice for Emax Cass, the one that's going for all in and playing like a DPS champion. So this is fine. I like this change. It's not going to mean much. I don't think it's going to mean a ton because you build a tier on that Cass, but it's still going to be something that does get felt in longer drawn out Baron posturing and team fight. I think that doesn't matter enough though. Fiora, W damage and slow duration increased. E cost flattened at all ranks. That's a fairly nice buff. Slow stun duration. Okay, so after all these tank buffs, now they're like, okay, now let's make Fiora good. So these buffs aren't directly hitting her, like buffing her ability to fight tanks. This is actually better against, I think, other duelists, but this is still really nice. That's huge. An extra half-second stun is massive in that spot. The slow obviously is nice, but it's most of the stun that we're talking about here. The damage doesn't matter. That's a huge change right there. Her E, I think that's nice. This is the big change. Keep an eye on this. That's gonna allow for some seriously stronger ganks and much better outplay on Fiora's side. That's awesome. So Gnar, what? Excuse me? So every time you turn Mega now, you're gonna be able to toss somebody against the wall late game. That's really cool, actually. In fact, in some really extended fights, you might be able to ult twice, like Old Ornn with CDR. So this is really cool. Yeah, Gnar's, that's crazy. I don't think it's going to fix Gnar's problems as a champion in any significant way. He's still really hard to play, and requires too much team coordination, so you're not going to see him in solo queue, but that's really crazy for a team that just wants to team fight a lot. You're not casting R off cooldown, but like the difference of 50 seconds, like, wow. That means that like with CDR, it can get down to like an 18-second cooldown. So that's be scared of Mega Gnar late game, dude. That's a crazy change. That feels crazy. I'm excited. I want to see how that turns out. Jhin. E-trap duration increased, traps recharge faster at later ranks, R damage multiplier increased, and level up tooltip corrected. Okay, so his E lasts longer. That's cool. Okay, so if you want to, when you max that, when you finally do max that, it means that you're going to be able to control more of the map. That's cool. His ulti. I've always thought that Jin's ulti felt pretty bad. 1.0 to 4.0, okay. That's nice because it's going to let him establish, because he establishes vision with those, so that's fine. That'll be really nice for late game Baron posturing. Jhin still has problems in that the way his DPS works is very finicky. And the fact that he loses a lot of lanes really hard. His ulti still sucks, by the way. Don't get it twisted. His ulti is still fairly bad. His E though, that's really good. That's pretty good in competitive play. You're gonna feel this as a solo queue player, but you're gonna see this when he gets picked in like the in competitive play. You're going to see this come into play where he is just putting traps down fairly often and they're staying. It's not quite a Teemo shroom, but it's still really annoying. Kale. Based on level and R rank. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is directly targeting the Klepto Kale. So, no more Klepto Kale getting his stupid early stuff. Kale is, I still think, bad in competitive play. Because she's not going to get to lane, because Jace still doesn't let her play the game. And against a team that is coordinating and trying to end, Kale is going to do very well. Kale's not going to do very well, because she's never going to reach the late game, because she's just going to get camped and die over and over and over and never touch the lane. Or she's never going to get to CS, in which case she's still never going to touch the lane. Very rarely she's going to get last picked by a team, and then that is when she's in a lane that's very passive and farmy, and even then she still loses the lane. But like, I think Kale is very bad in competitive play, but in solo queue, these nerfs are necessary because especially in the crappier solo queues, being NA and EU, Kale is a dominant force of nature who does not have a punishable enough early game to justify her late game monstrosity. So I'm fine with these changes. I just hate the fact that that for Kale to be good in competitive play, that she's not going to be playable, that she's going to be a monster in solo queue. So unfortunate. Shadow Assassin. This is really cool. I saw this a few patches ago. So that's an actually significant buff to Shadow Assassin. My biggest problem with Kayn is that I feel when you're playing as Kayn, you feel really pressured to pretty much always go Rust if you're trying to win. And with this buff, because that's really like huge, because you don't max E ever as Kayn. Now you have a buff like 21 to 8 seconds. You're gonna be able to E in. And in some fights, you're going to E in, do your combo, and then E out. So that's a huge buff to Shadow Assassin. When it drops, I may start playing Kayn some again. That's fantastic. I really like that. I'm very glad that that actually happened. Master Yi is now ghosted during R. That's okay. That makes sense. It is modernizing it. It doesn't change why he is bad when he's bad and good when he's good. So like right now he's really bad, unless you're a one trick, and even then he's just okay. So, but that's still really nice. It's gonna help him with minion, with ulting into like hit 6 and free gank. Doesn't have to queue through minion wave to fight you or whatnot. Doesn't matter. Nautilus, passive root duration increased, Q damage increased. That's really cool. Let's see, that's root duration 0.5. Okay, so early, it's really nice. Big buff to support and jungle Nautilus. Top Nautilus, not as much, because you usually don't use the full root duration in a trade. But Q Dredgeline, how much damage do you got? Okay, so AP Nautilus. Don't do that. But the bonus damage that you get on it early, 20 extra damage when you're trading with it several times as Nautilus. That's going to add up really fast, given that Nautilus doesn't do much damage with his autos. So, like with his autos past his first one. So that's huge. These are good Nautilus buffs. I anticipate seeing this more in support, because I think that's where Nautilus is best right now. But you could... I don't know if this is enough for jungle Nautilus to come back. I don't think it is. But you might see some top Nautilus and support Nautilus from this. That's really cool. Okay, you get more stats on his passive stuff. Orange still sucks and needs the shield back on his W to be a champion. And until that point, he's going to be bad in pretty much every situation. He's the anti-Kale because he's punishable early and not worth it late. So, like, yeah, the extra item slot is awesome, but you got to get there, and he's way too punishable right now. Renekton, base health, attack growth on attack, and armor growth rounded up. So he has bonus stats. Do they matter? No. Okay, I don't think this matters. The base stats anyway. Okay, Q. The healing versus champions. Okay, that's... meh. Empowered healing versus champions. That's slightly more significant. Renekton is still fine. I don't think this fixes why he's not getting picked in competitive play right now. But I think that he was a fine champion in solo queue if you knew how to play him, and I think that he's still going to be a fine champion after that. W damage ratio increased. Oh, and they gave it the correct scaling. Okay. So now she's doing... That gets to a lot. Okay. That's fairly significant, actually. I like that. Okay. That's not huge, you know, it's not going to make her OP, but those are good buffs to Sejuani to make her actually playable. I like that. Singed base, health regen, W slow increased, E cost decreased. They're buffing Singed, that's a lot. 1.5 HP 5 is a good amount, given that he also runs a lot of potions. Yeah, that's a lot. W, that's 20% slow buff. Oh yeah, this matters a lot actually. So, you don't max fling early enough for this to matter as much because you usually end up with a good amount of mana is singed. But this matters a lot because skillful use of your slow is already everything, and that makes it just a bit better. This matters a lot because this means that Singed can trade and then back off a little bit better. I think that, yeah, they're talking about Darkseal. Stacking Darkseals was Singed's way to go for a while. And because of the nerfs to it, he's been doing worse. So I think these are just fine compensation buffs. I really like this. I really like this. He's still probably going to need to buy Darkseal, but it's going to be good. Okay, Q bonus damage increased, light arc cooldown decreased. Okay, cool. So last patch he also got buffed. I think it was his W got more attack speed on it. They've just decided they want Trundle to come back. I think giving answers to tank meta with Fiora and Trundle. Yeah, okay, I'm down. Give me tank meta and give me some. Oh, Zed nerf started to pick him up. I'll go back to that in a second. Trundle. So Q bonus damage increased. Wait, that's cool. It doesn't matter. Bonus damage. Not really. You're not casting ulti off cooldown on Trundle, and you're not. I don't think the 20 damage matters that much. It's nice, but it doesn't matter nearly as much as his W did. Okay. Giving more chances to catch him. 10 damage. You're losing what? Are you losing 15 or are you losing 20? I think you're losing 15 damage at all ranks if you hit both shurikens off of your E. 15 or 20. I don't remember just if Q does reduce damage after the first one. If it does, then you're probably losing 15 damage total. But otherwise, I have no idea. I know that it's not a huge difference. Living Shadow cooldown. That's actually fairly significant because that means he's going to have to be... he's going to have to think more about pressing W in lane to trade. I'm fine with this. Yeah, I like this. This is good. This is somebody who, like I said, I picked up Zed, but like he is a bit too easy to play right now for the way Zed is. So, yeah, no, I like this. Good on you, right? Because this isn't killing him in the hands of a relatively skillful player. Although he's already bad at high elo, but in low elo, like I want skillful champions like Zed. And Vayne and like that sort of champion to be hard. And so making Zed harder is something that I'm always in favor of. Okay, Bilgewater Cutlass. Cost increase. Okay, I can live with that. I just think that I do agree that especially with Lucian existing right now, that item is kind of crazy. And then this is probably part of... Yeah, like, I was going to say, I think that the that you're just seeing the Bilgewater, and, yeah, okay. Command cost decreased. Alright, so Gunblade still costs the same, but Bork got 100 gold more. Okay, that's fine. Bramble Vest. Fantastic. That's awesome, because Bramble Vest feels like the crappiest source of Grievous wounds in the game. I like it. That's fantastic. I really like buying that on tanks when I'm playing them, but I also hate buying it because it doesn't feel like it's actually meaningful against a lot of champions because, like, oh, well, he has Grievous Wounds. I'm just not going to hit that one. Like, so. Enchantment Cinderhulk. I saw this. Oh, okay, so last patch they meant to do this, but they didn't actually change the damage. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter that much. Stormrazor, energized effects now increased and slow decays over a long period of... That's very truthful. The only champion buying Stormrazor is Kai'Sa. I think Stormrazor is terrible. I really, like, I miss old Stormrazor, but I don't miss old Stormrazor. I miss old Stormrazor because I want to go back to playing Graves, and he's not the same champion without it. But right now, Stormrazor is an incredibly terrible item on everybody besides Kai'Sa. I still think it's bad, but I think that it's better. But I still think that it's bad on pretty much everybody except Kai'Sa. Thornmail. Yeah, is this coming with the Bramble West? Okay. Runes. Coup de grace. Damage to champions increase. And no longer grants 9 bonus attack damage and 15 ability power for seconds on champion takedown. That's actually a big nerf. I wonder if it's going to change what you take in precision. I don't think so, because I still think that that means more. But that's still cool. That's still impactful. That's more impactful for 80 carries, though. If you're taking it on an assassin, then you're still just taking it so you burst harder. So, Butcher's Bridge is... Aww. Alright, what do we got? Okay, rune adjustments will continue as permanent features in ARAM. Bans will not! No! I loved having bans. After 50 minutes in all ARAM guns, minion life spawn rates will increase. Okay, that's cool. Poke. Built-in reduction range. Champ balance. Okay, I like the champion balance in ARAM. That's fine. I like the Mormogs thing. That's cool. Mariner's Vengeance and Ghost Stars. That's fine. Backtrack is gonna back it up. No, I like backtrack. Okay. I think that all in all, I wish that ARAM was staying exactly how it is right now. I love having bans in ARAM, but some people like I can understand why people would want to get poke comps every once in a while, because playing a poke comp is fantastic. So, as far as the ARAM changes goes, I don't like them because I felt like the ARAM changes made me want to play ARAM for the first time, because I didn't run the risk of not getting to play the game for 15 minutes and having to wait for the next game because they got a poke comp and we got an engage comp in ARAM. It's not going to happen. So, yep, this makes me very sad. Bug fixes don't matter. Galaxy Slayer, the skin. I want it. Okay, KDA Evelyn Prestige Edition, so we can finally get done with the KDA skins. These skins are fantastic, and I want that Rakan skin really bad. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I love IG, so fantastic. Quick backtrack. So, to talk about everybody, the Amumu change pretty much only affects his solo queue, but it's still nice. And really, it really only helps his duo queue. Camille, nice, but I don't know if it's actually going to bring her back into the meta as a top tier jungler. Cass, again, nice, but it doesn't change what's holding her back right now, I don't think. Fiora, this is cool. It's going to help her duel more, and that 2-second stun versus 1.5 is crazy. That cooldown change is bonkers on Gnar's ulti. Jhin, this is really... I feel like this is much better for a competitive play than for solo queue, but we'll see. Kale, more destroying her solo queue ability because she's stupid in it. Kayn, this is a really nice buff to Shadow Assassin. Yi buff doesn't matter. Nautilus buff matters, I think, for top and support, much more so than for jungle. Ornn is still atrocious. Renekton is still fine, and it still has the same spot as he always does. Sejuani W, that's really nice for clear, and is not overtuned. Singed, this is a really nice compensation buff for Darkseal. Trundle, his last patch changed to his W, matters much more than Q and R, but that's still, nice. Zed, this is fine, makes him more skillful. Bilgewater and Bork changes are fine. Bramblevest change is fantastic. Stormrazor change doesn't matter. Thornmail change is fantastic, same with the Bramblevest. Coup de Grace is interesting. I'm curious to see what this leads to in terms of rune choice. ARAM changes make me sad. And yeah, that's it. So, thank you very much for tuning in, and I guess I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.